I'll get to my first prediction then, because here's a nice thing about what I've predicted here, and we didn't really talk about these beforehand, but this time I'm the opposite way round to Steve, I think, which is good, because it means that one of us is probably going to be right along the way. So I'm with him on the inflation thing. I think inflation will be back below 3 or so % by the end of the year, so it'll be back in normal ranges and levels.
That's quick.
I don't think that's coming without a recession. I think there is going to be a recession that brings this on. So I think that this isn't exactly my prediction, I'll tell you the prediction at the end. I think that the Fed has taken such a battering over this transitory thing that it now can't let up on its drive to get inflation under control. I think rates are going to have to go where they're going to go, and I think the Fed will take them there. So I think there will be a recession, and I think that will be, I don't know about unavoidable, I don't think the Fed will have the skills or the concentration to avoid it. Which means that maybe. Ability in terms of it's a very fine line to walk, and I think they're very concerned they would rather fall on one side than the other, so they might end up just tipping themselves over there anyway. So my prediction is I've got two stocks in the S&P 500 that I think are going to outperform as a result on that index, and those two are McDonald's and Costco. And I could have picked really obvious, boring defensive things like a bunch of smoking stocks, but I didn't choose those. So McDonald's is interesting because it's strictly a cyclical, and you don't want those in a recession. Usually Costco is interesting because it has a very high PE, and you don't usually want those either when growth is slowing. So why have I gone for those two? I think what will matter in a recession is price to consumer. And I think both McDonald's and Costco have low prices to consumer, and more than that, structural things that will allow them to hold their price to consumer low in the process. So in the case of McDonald's, so people often call them a kind of REIT. They're not a REIT. That's not what a REIT is. But one thing they do generally do is own their franchises and charge their franchisees rent, which means they have an income stream that doesn't come from selling food, which means they can drive the price of the food down and keep that fairly low in a way that if you don't charge your franchisee rent, but you just kind of license them branding and so on, you need to make money off of revenue and so on by taking a cut of that. Costco, of course, charges people to shop there. So regardless of what margins they do or don't make from the stuff they sell, they're getting money coming in that allows them to keep down prices. So I've gone for the two things that most obviously to me have a structural business model competitive advantage in terms of keeping prices to consumers down. I think that will tell over the course of the coming year.
Yeah, I like both of those. I think they're both pretty fine picks, to be honest. I think Costco's the one that worries me the most because it's an expensive stock. I think it's hard to get around that. It's an expensive stock with not it doesn't have the margins to support a premium like that. It's only when you delve into the business a little bit more and you realise how good of a business it is and how it's still, even to this day, expanding. I mean, we don't have a lot of Costco's in the UK, so even before you think about, you know, even just the UK, we just don't have the stores. So there are plenty of places a Costco can go. It's just whether it's cost effective for them to actually build it in the UK at the moment, whether they're going to have that consumer base. So yeah, I think Costco is probably a good tip for something that is going to, let's not lie about it, just continue to be a great stock. McDonald's is a little bit trickier for me. I have realised today I've seen a couple of their automated restaurants that they've released. So these are, I did see a staff member in it though, which kind of made me laugh. There was like, it's fully automated, and there was a staff member in the back. It's like, not fully. But yeah, it did interest me that that's a route that they're going to go down, and I think that's an interesting technology. I'd be interested to see how that plays out. Whether it outperform or not, I don't know. It's your guess.
I don't really have much to add on that one because I think they're really good ideas. I agree with the Costco overvaluation. It's one of the reasons why I cannot get my head around it. It is just naturally expensive. However, I have got a fun bit of information. You don't actually have to pay Costco to go shop there. I've found a way around it. What you do is you find someone who does pay to go to Costco and get them to buy you a £20 gift card. That way you can go into Costco forever and use that £20 gift card. They let you in with the gift card and then you just pay with cash. So that is one of the ways to get around the whole subscription fee for Costco.
Gosh, like okay. Martin Lewis, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one thing that I figured out earlier this year when someone was trying to help me buy tattooed chef stuff. Do you remember that time when I bought tattooed chef? I bet you don't. And it was actually pretty
Yep.
good, but it was just
Frozen
mixed veg.
lasagna.
Yeah, basically.